Foundation. I'd like to welcome you. Thank you for coming, and we certainly want to give a warm thanks to Keeneland for once again hosting this event. This is the 5th time we've done this, and the very nature of any science dealing with racing commissions and so forth, as you can imagine, we're pleased with some of the things that have happened. We've hit more singles than home runs, but at least we're still hitting singles. Among the things that we can point to that we're very pleased with is the establishment of the equine injury database. We now account for 93% of the days run in North America. The Racetrack Testing Surfaces Laboratory has been, I'd call it a home run too. Mick Peterson has just done such a great job, and with the support of the Jockey Club initially and the professionalism of the racetrack superintendents, that has grown, and over 65 racing and training services have been tested. It uses a mechanical hoof tester, GPS mapping, ground penetrating radar, very, very high upscale stuff. In connection with that, we had compiled a Racing Services white paper, which gave a comprehensive educational resource on surfaces. The elimination of toe grabs, high front toe grabs, has been a real example of how science sometimes doesn't get accepted. The research done on the toe grabs that showed that high toe grabs in front created a high risk, increased risk factor. That was done 10 years before it began to be adopted. It seemed so counterintuitive to horsemen who always thought they were doing the right thing. And quite frankly, we were not making many strides on getting it adopted until Bill Kasner, with the help of some dramatic slides, made a very dynamic presentation at the summit, followed up with another one with the Racing Commissioners International, and we finally got some movement. And 18 states now mandate the front toe grabs and 8 racetracks. So again, we've made progress, but there are 38 jurisdictions, so we can't say we've finished the job. Our hoof TV DVD now had distributed over 500 copies and 2,800 downloads for 56 countries. And it's available in both Spanish and English. The Uniform Trainers Test and Study Guide that was what we caused to be created currently is used by 17 jurisdictions, and there again it's a kind of a win and lose. There are 38 jurisdictions out there and only 17 are using them, but still that is progress. The Trainer Continuing Education Program, which we've been grappling with, as well as some of the states, you're going to get a report tomorrow. I think we've got a sort of a breakthrough there, and we're going to get to use, for all this material that's going to be made available, we're going to get the F word, free, Mr. Racing Commissioner. So another thing that we've been involved in, I think we started at the same time California's Racing Commission began thinking about it, so I don't think we really originated it, and that is the concept of avoiding claims when horses break down under certain circumstances. And that was brought up at the first summit by trainer Dick Mandela, who said, and he thought back to his youth, he felt bad that he had been guilty of running horses that he knew were maybe about to have a problem, hoping to get them claimed and be someone else's problem. So the philosophy of taking away that incentive has driven these efforts to avoid claims under certain circumstances. And again, we're making progress, but it hasn't been universally accepted, let me tell you. Now today, our first panel is how to use data to keep horses safe. That's one thing that I've been really encouraged by, the individual tracks using the material from the equine injury database to tailor that information to use for their own horse's benefit. Now, to moderate this panel, we've invited Mike Ziegler, who is Executive Director of the Safety and Integrity Alliance of the National Thoroughbred Racing Association. Mike has become a real friend of this summit, almost a recruiter. His job takes him to these various places, and he's been very good about saying, hey, you need to consider this person, you need to consider what they're doing at such and such a track. And today's panel is to some extent a result of that. So I'd like to turn it over to Mike Ziegler and thank him for his input.